Once upon a time in the kingdom of Navarre, nestled between the verdant hills of modern-day Spain, a young lad named Francis Xavier was born. Now you see, Francis was the youngest sprout of a distinguished Basque family tree. His early years, filled with sibling rivalries and juggling political intrigues like bowling pins, were certainly more electrifying than reading a scroll about tax reform. As an inquisitive youngster with his nose perpetually buried in a book, Francis showed such academic promise that teachers often speculated if he had secretly swallowed an encyclopedia. It wasn't long before his quest for knowledge led him to Paris, not to taste the fine pastries, mind you, but to pursue philosophy at the College St. Barbe. This wasn't just an ordinary school. It had a rich aroma of intellect, which some say could manifest in the form of ancient breadcrumbs mysteriously appearing in textbooks. Now the plot thickens when Francis met Ignatius of Loyola, a chap who had the air of a saintly rock star. Ignatius, a spiritual visionary with a glint in his eye that was either divine inspiration or the result of eating one too many French desserts, dared Francis to swap his worldly ambitions for a life dedicated to the Almighty. At first, Francis was as resistant as a cat being introduced to water, but Ignatius' spiritual wisdom seeped through like herbal tea in a fragile cup. By 1534, Francis took vows of poverty and chastity and joined Ignatius in Montmartre, forming the Society of Jesus, Jesuits for those who prefer their religious orders with a snappy name. With the society formally approved by Pope Paul III in 1540, Francis took holy orders. When King John III of Portugal requested missionaries for distant lands, Francis, with a gleam of adventure or seasickness in his eyes, was chosen for the task. He set sail for India in 1541, likely wishing ebooks were a thing to survive the journey. Arriving in Goa in 1542, Francis rolled out the medieval red carpet for education and baptism, focusing on converting the locals while reforming the existing religious communities. His magnetic personality was such that even the pearl fishers, who spent more time with oysters than humans, converted in flocks. Being the globetrotter he was, Francis expanded his missionary adventures to Southeast Asia and Japan, leaving behind trails of converted souls, and perhaps some astonished local customs officials. His adaptability was so profound that he mastered languages, local customs, and politely declined fermented fish stews with a smile.